All right, welcome everyone back to TD SportsPress podcast. We are back on it after a loaded college basketball slate on Tuesday. There's a lot of good games that we're gonna have to get into. A lot of teams, improved their position on the bubble. Some teams they improved down, and some of them I think their bubble just popped. I mean, they had some bad losses tonight, so we're gonna get into all of it. But like I said before we get started, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. This channel is starting to get a little bit bigger than or a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to at the start of this, and we're just going to keep going up. So make sure you guys leave a follow, all those good things. So the first thing that we have to start with is Missouri. My gosh, Missouri at home beats number 20. It says 23. Number 22 Tennessee. This is a huge win for Tennessee. Tennessee was my last team, or excuse me, not Tennessee. Missouri was my second to last team in the bracket as of today. And to get this home win against Tennessee, I picked Missouri to win this game. So I feel even better about this game because I did pick Missouri. Let me fix the camera there. But yeah, like I said, I did pick Missouri to win this game. So of course I'm going to feel good about it. So, right there. Perfect. So like I said, this is an absolutely huge win for Missouri. We can go ahead and look at the box score here real quick. Right here, we can let's look at Missouri first. I mean, they shot 4 of 17 from 3 and still won the game. I mean, you're not going to win a lot of games like that, but they scored 73 points going 4 of 17 from 3. You normally aren't going to see that. They only had 8 turnovers. I mean, it's just a recipe for success. I mean, Missouri, I don't know how Missouri won this game. Watching this game, it was crazy. 28 points from Barrett. I mean, that's absolutely huge. 36 minutes. Mitchell had 23. I mean, other than that, I mean, Robertson had 8. But I mean, Missouri had 2 guys that went off for him. They had 2 guys that came in clutch and really helped them out. I mean, I just have never seen something like that before. I mean, they did shoot 17 to 22 from the foul line. I mean, that's something to help with. If we look at Tennessee right here. 7 of 24 from 3, 8 of 14 from the foul line. That's the reason why they lost, and they had 15 turnovers. They out-rebounded Missouri by 12. You normally don't see a team win when they out-rebound the other team by 12. So looking at this game, I had Tennessee as my highest-ranked 5 seed going into this, and then I had Missouri as my second-last team. So what are the outlooks after Missouri gets a huge win at home against number 22 Tennessee? Here are my outlooks. For Tennessee, they are going to stay on the 5 line. This is a quad. This is not going to look good. Or Missouri, let's try that again. What is the outlook of these two teams? Missouri, I think that they will be in the tournament. They might be a 10 seed. Absolutely huge win at home. Huge win against Vanderbilt at home, and now they have a huge win against Tennessee. Missouri is going in the right direction. Now we look at Tennessee. I think they're still on the 5 line. Missouri's ranked in the top 75 of the net. This is on the road, so it's not going to be a quad 2 loss, another quad 1 loss. Tennessee still has some good wins on the resume. They beat St. John's, and the other one, they beat Houston. I mean, they won both those games at Vegas. So I think Tennessee will be fine. They'll be on the 5 line. There's just some questions for Tennessee. And they got to get someone to go with, or Nate Atman. They got to get someone to go with him. He had 17 and 7, but I mean, other than that, no one really went with him. You can't have 15 turnovers. You're not gonna have 15 turnovers. You can't have more assists than you do turnovers. More turnovers than you have assists. So that is my outlook on that game. A huge win for Missouri. They had to have this game, and it was awesome. So we're gonna go from really a high of Missouri and Tennessee. Now we're gonna get into some bad. Our next one is St. Louis in trouble. Number 23, St. Louis, goes to Dayton and gets beat by 15. I mean, the game wasn't even close. I mean, it was not good for St. Louis. St. Louis has struggled. I mean, St. Louis could have been on a 3-game losing streak now. They did come back and beat VCU on Friday, which we talked about, and they did get beat by Rhode Island. Now they got beat by Dayton, and I mean, it wasn't even close. The first half. It's just the first half for St. Louis. You probably look at the last 3 first halves. They're probably like if I had to guess, their plus minus is probably like minus 40, minus 50. I mean, it is not good at all. I mean, this is if you want to be a tournament team, your plus minus in the first half cannot be minus 40. And then you look is St. Louis in trouble? I think they are in trouble. I really do. Like St. Louis has lost their cushion of air. They had 2 losses in the A10 now, and they still have the A10 tournament. Do I think they have to win the A10 tournament right now? No. I think they're going to have to at least make the semifinals now, and they have to win out their last 3 games. So I think St. Louis will be fine. There's nothing to be worried about, but I think that they could be in trouble. I really do believe that. I mean, this was not a good loss for St. Louis. I know we want more mid-majors in the bubble, but it's really hard when you look at a resume like St. Louis. Dayton, I think that's a quad 2, quad 3 loss. They also have, the Rhode Island loss as well. So I mean, it's really tough for St. Louis right now. So that's a team that you really need to keep your eye on. What's going to happen with that team? So should be very interesting what happens there. So, yeah, I do think St. Louis is in trouble in a sense. I do believe that. The next team is Auburn. Oh, man, Auburn. After what Auburn did, they go get that huge win against Kentucky. They just have an unexplainable loss to Oklahoma. We can go ahead and dissect that game here. Let's get that game pulled up here, please, and thank you. There's a concerning score we'll talk about later that's ongoing, but let's find that. Where is that? I just had it up. Yep, here we go. So Oklahoma beat Auburn 91-79. Auburn's now 15-13. Is that I don't know, man. I don't know if that's good enough. Oklahoma scored 51 points in the first half. You're not going to win a lot of games like that. I mean, the game was never in question. I mean, Oklahoma had the lead for the majority of the game, and it just never got close. I mean, the whole second half, Auburn was down by more than 10. Is Auburn a tournament team? I really don't know. We can go ahead and look at the box score. I mean, you had, they played 7 players. They got 26 from Hall and then 26 from Overton. Pritchard had 4 points. He can't have 4 points. If you want to go where you want to, he cannot have 4. And a great win for Oklahoma. I don't think Oklahoma's going to make the tournament, but I mean, it's a great win for them. They've been really close to winning some of these games, so it's good to see them have some success. So, good for them. But is Auburn a tournament team? I think that's a really interesting point. Right now, if you guys check my bracketology out on X, I'm pretty sure I had Auburn as a 10 seed. This is going to push them to probably that next 4 in. Maybe that last 4 in. I could see both those being a possibility for Auburn, depending on what are some results as the night ends and some of the results going into tomorrow and Thursday. So I would say right now, is Auburn a tournament team? I would say no. I would not put Auburn in the tournament right now. This is a quad 3 loss. It's not a good look. It's a quad 3 loss to Oklahoma. You cannot have that to make the tournament. And yes, they played a really good non-conference. Yeah, and they did. They had, they won some, they lost some, but you can't be 15-13. I mean, Auburn's going to have to make a little bit of run the SEC championship, in my opinion, in order to make the tournament. There has to be something there for Auburn. So I think that's going to be very interesting. But yeah, I would say that Oklahoma, it's just not. This is not a good look for Auburn. I just don't see them as a tournament team right now. So. All right, which brings let's talk about it. Whose bubble was popped tonight? If you guys don't know that, this is a segment on the show where we go around, look at scores of bubbles who have popped. So we had some teams that we can talk about. We can pull it up. We're going to look at some scores here and talk about which teams' bubbles are done. Who's done? Who's not going to make the NCAA tournament? Let's figure it out here. So we can go around here. Maybe, possibly. Okay, perfect. Here we go. Let's look at some of these scores here. TCU gets a big win. TCU will stay in. Their bubble is not popped. Baylor had a chance to get back onto the bubble. Their bubble has popped. They got beat by Arizona. They were up by like 8 or 9 in that game. It was looking good. They just could not finish it. Cincinnati, it was a nice run while it is. You guys are off the bubble, losing to Texas Tech. I don't see a path unless they make it could be, I don't know. I'm just going to take Cincinnati off the bubble for now. They're off. Their bubble has popped for Cincinnati. Moving on. West Virginia, welcome to your bubble has popped after that loss to formerly bubble popped Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State won that game in overtime. Oh boy, in Indiana, is their bubble popped? No, Indiana's bubble is not popped. Their room for error has drastically went down. Quad 3 loss to Northwestern at home. I misspoke. Auburn did not have a quad 3 loss. It was Indiana. I messed up my notes. Anyway, Indiana's a quad 3 loss. I know the guy looked like he got fouled. I would have called it, but that's just how the game goes sometimes. That's what humans as officials are going to make judgment calls, and sometimes they're going to miss the judgment calls. And now Indiana could be on the outside looking in. I mean, you cannot have a quad 3 loss at the end of February. I mean, you got the recency bias and some of these metrics that people look at. That could also go into it. Man, it is not looking good for Indiana. Their bubble's not popped, but it's definitely close. It's something definitely that to monitor as things go on. So yeah, other than that, Miami picks up a big win. We'll talk about them in a second. So yeah, bubbles popped today. Like I said, Baylor's was popped. West Virginia was popped. And Cincinnati. So 3 Big 12 teams, bubbles have popped. What does that? That does not mean, like, obviously if they win the conference championship, they will be back. Well, they'll obviously make it with the auto bid. That I'm not saying that they won't make it. I'm just saying they're at largest. I'm just going to say they're gone. They're gone. They're gone. I got every single one right last year that I called early. We're going to keep the momentum going. So, yeah, let's keep it going. Kentucky bounces back. As we guys know, Kentucky had 2 tough losses last week to Georgia at home. And then they also got beat by Auburn at Auburn. And they bounced back against South Carolina. I know that's not the greatest opponent, but like Kentucky needed to get something in their system. Mark Pope, he also got fined today. Kentucky played mad. They won the game at South Carolina. South Carolina is kind of the punching bag in the SEC. Just like with no ends in sight. I don't know how long they're going to be the punching bag. But Kentucky pulls out a win. They had to bounce back. They had to. I have them right now as my top 8 seed line. Looking at it from now, they might move to that 7, depending on some results tomorrow. Like a team like Utah State plays San Diego State. We'll be talking about that game later. For a team like Utah State, if they lose, Kentucky can move up to the 7 line. This win against South Carolina does not propel them right now, but I mean, some other results could help them do that. There's also another result we'll talk about that might not help them. That's ongoing right now. BYU and UCF. That game's currently ongoing. But this was a great win for Kentucky. They had to bounce back. Great group effort. And it's never easy to win on the road. It doesn't matter what conference you're in. It's always hard to win on the road, even if it's at South Carolina. So, yeah, huge win for Kentucky. Absolutely had to have that. So I want to take a break. And and we're going to talk about something here. UVU, if you guys don't know, Utah Valley wins in court against the WAC for today. UVU got a preliminary decision today for 14 days. They won their TRO. This will be going back to court. I think it was Friday or next Friday. This is awesome for Utah Valley. Utah Valley has a chance to win the WAC. I mean, and the problem with that problem is, Utah Valley is going to the Big West next year, and the WAC are saying they have to pay their $1 million exit fee or buyout. I forgot what, maybe it was terms of contract. I forgot exactly what it was. But the thing about it with Utah Valley's court case is Utah Tech and Southern Utah, 2 teams that are also in the WAC, they don't have to pay this $1 million fee, and they're going to the Big Sky. So why does Utah Valley have to pay this $1 million fee and they can't compete in the WAC championships to go to the tournament for the first time in school history, if my math is adding up? Well, why doesn't Utah Valley and Southern Utah have the same consequences? And Utah Tech, they're a great story as well. I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but Utah Valley, they're I would say the best team in the WAC right now. And right now, I mean, this court decision is only 14 days. They're going to have another decision in court. I believe it's a court in Texas, if I remember right. It doesn't make sense. Why would we punish Utah Valley for leaving the – I mean, the WAC's not even going to be a conference next year. They're going to – I really don't – I think they're merging with someone. So I'm really glad that Utah Valley won today. We want teams that deserve to compete in the March Madness tournament, who should win the conference tournament, which Utah Valley, They've been right there the last 2 to 3 years to winning that conference championship, and they just haven't got over the hump. And it's been sad to see, but it's good to see that Utah Valley won in court against the WAC. Against a conference that's like not even going to be a conference next year. Like the WAC is kind of, they're being petty. It's so petty. You're going to make Utah Valley pay, but you're not going to make Southern Utah pay. You're not going to make Utah Tech pay. You're going to let Southern Utah play in your conference tournament. You're going to let Utah Tech play in your conference tournament, but you're not going to let Utah Valley. But they're going to because they're going to the Big West. It makes zero sense to me. And this is the bet. And if you guys saw my tweet today to 801 Bracketology, shout out to him. He does a great job with it. Really love the stuff he does. He was the one that the news that I saw from. He quoted whoever he did, and I put under that. I replied to that comment saying this is the best TRO that I have seen signed. And it is. I mean, this is one that it makes sense. So huge win for Utah, not Utah Valley, not on the court, but in the courtroom. Love to see it. Hopefully we can get that squared away there. Okay, so let's keep it rolling here. So let's go ahead before we get into some more preview games of tomorrow. Actually, yeah, we're gonna start with our previews tomorrow. So there are some big games. Wednesday, the first game, number 15 St. John's goes to number 6 UConn. St. John's won this game, I think it was a couple weeks ago. They did win this, I think it was 2 weeks ago. Yep, we'll go 2 to 3 weeks ago. Huge wins for St. John's. That really propelled them to go up to where I currently have them on the 5 line. UConn, they kind of dipped there for a second after getting beat by St. John's, and they're number 6 right now, number ranked. And that's kind of where they kind of had that midseason low, where a lot of teams have had that midseason low. It's going to happen when you play college basketball in a conference like the Big East. This game is at UConn. This is not at the Garden anymore. I picked UConn to win the first one. They got beat. Who am I going to take? Number 15 St. John's or number 6 UConn? UConn will have revenge on the brain. Dan Hurley will have this team ready to go. I promise you that. He is sick of getting beat by Rick Pitino. I can promise you that. And Rick Pitino, great coach. I love both guys. Love the competitiveness. Dan Hurley is not losing he can't. I seriously don't think he has slept since he got beat by St. John's 2 to 3 weeks ago. Maybe that sounds absolutely crazy. You can say I'm stupid, which probably is true. But Dan Hurley wants revenge. You take UConn to win this game. UConn's going to win this game at home. And that crowd is going to be reckless. They want it. The fan base wants it. Dan Hurley wants it. The players wants it. Give me UConn to win this game. Should be a great game. Next one, can Texas bounce back? No, Texas is going to have a quad 1A opportunity when it might be number 7, number 8, Florida will be at Texas. Texas last time out. Texas got beat by Georgia at Georgia. They just could never get anything going. Florida's the cream of the crop of the SEC right now. Everyone is chasing their heels. Right now, if we look at the bracket, I currently have Florida as my top 3 seed. I have Texas as my low 10 seed right now. If Texas wins this game, they're probably going up to a 9 at least, maybe an 8. If Florida wins this game, could they move up to the 2 line? I mean, this would be a quad 1 win at Texas or top 75 in the net. We'll see, because right now we're comparing Purdue's resume compared to Florida's resume. So that's something to keep in mind. This is at Texas. Who am I going to take? Who's going to win this game? Or Florida or Texas? Give me Florida to win this game at Texas. I really love the way Florida's been playing lately. I think they're going to keep it going. I think Texas is a really good team. They've been playing good ball lately. And they had a loss to Georgia, who's I have on the 9 line. And on the road, I'm going with Florida. I trust them on the road. Would not be surprised if Texas wins this game, kind of like a Missouri-Tennessee, like I picked Missouri to beat Tennessee last night or tonight. But yeah, I am going to take, give me Texas give me Florida to beat Texas. Should be a great game. All right, I know some people say I have been avoiding this comment. Santa Clara, a team that I have in my tournament, last 4 in, is going to St. Mary's in a huge WWE WCC matchup. Santa Clara, they had their opportunity at home against Gonzaga. They were up 5 with 9 minutes to go. They just could not pull it out. They're going to go on the road and play St. Mary's. They could get that quad 1 win, which would be absolutely huge for Santa Clara. Santa Clara has not made a tournament, if my math is correct, since Steve Nash. Santa Clara was a 15 seed and beat Arizona. Someone could change my mind, but off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure that's the last time Santa Clara made the tournament. It was with Steve Nash, and they beat number 2 Arizona. In terms of, so Santa Clara has a chance to make history. And man, this win run, if they win this game against St. Mary's, this win would do a lot for Santa Clara to make the tournament. Would do an absolute lot. We look at St. Mary's. St. Mary's is a team I have on the 9 line. They win at home against the St. Mary's team. They might, or against the Santa Clara team, they might move up to the 8 line. They still have Gonzaga on their schedule at home. St. Mary's has a chance to maybe move up to a 7 or 6 seed, depending on how they end the year. So that's definitely something to keep my eye on. So who's going to win this game? Santa Clara or St. Mary's? Give me St. Mary's to win this game. I think St. Mary's wins this at home. I think Santa Clara has a chance. I just don't like them on the road. I do not like them on the road in this chance. I think they'll play again in the WCC tournament in the semifinal as a 2 and 3 seed. But give me St. Mary's to win that game. And then lastly, we just talked about the WCC. Now let's talk about the Mountain West. The best Mountain West rivalry game, in my opinion, in college basketball for the Mountain West, Utah State, San Diego State. It always feels like these two teams are always in the tournament, and it feels like they're always playing each other for a chance to win the conference tournament. A conference championship. Other than last year, where New Mexico had a good run. But Utah State, San Diego State. San Diego State has lost 2 in a row. They've got beat by home to Grand Canyon, and then they got beat at Colorado State. San Diego State, really their tournament resume. This is a make or break game for them. They have to win this game. There's no if, ands, and buts about this. San Diego State, I have them in my next 4 out. Now let's look at Utah State. I have Utah State still on my 7 line right now. They got beat by Nevada on Saturday. They were up 73-67 or maybe 76-70 and just could not pull it out. They now make the long road trip to San Diego State. If you guys don't remember what happened last time Utah State went to San Diego State, Tucker Anderson hit a 3. If I remember right, Utah State was down like 22 at halftime and came back and won for like their first win ever at that place last year. This game is going to be awesome. This game at Logan was really good. Give me Utah State to beat San Diego State. I think San Diego State is going to keep struggling. I love Utah State in this spot. Coming off the loss, Jared Calhoun is a great coach. I think Utah State's going to get another great win. Might propel them to the 6th line, depending on some results. I love Utah State. They're a team, for me, I think could make a Sweet 16 run. So, with that being said, give me Utah State to beat San Diego State. Should be an absolute great game tomorrow. So, those are some picks going into tomorrow of some games I'm really excited about. For sure. So with that being said, let's go ahead. Let's get a look ahead at some of the games going on right now. We'll go ahead and take a look right here. There's been a couple of surprising results happen, I would say, to keep our minds on. Yeah. UCF is currently up 52-28 on number 19 BYU. As you guys know, number 19 BYU just beat Iowa State. This would not be good. New Mexico getting beat by Nevada. That's not good. And UCLA is beating USC 23-29. So not sure what is going on in Provo right now. But other than that, not really surprised by some of these results. So with that being said, we are going to end our show here tonight. We'll be back live tomorrow night. 9:20-ish start time for that. And yeah, check out our TikTok. We're live on there 20-25 minutes a day going over bracketology. Check out our X. Check out TikTok, X, YouTube, all those good things. And with that being said, have a great night. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow.